Okay, so we're outside. We've got the slightly larger jar this time, but we've got the jar of honey. It's version 2. Let's crack on and see what the results are. We've already treated the paint to pure, so pure is our paint cleaner. What it does is essentially, like it sounds, it just deeply cleans the paint and also leaves a nice layer, almost like a primer. It leaves a primed area ready to wax. You can also, before your wax, use a sealant, something like Titan, Guard, Diamond Seal, all compatible with this product. So, we've got two options here. We've got our red UFO, kind of looks like one, red UFO applicator, which is bigger than the typical white 4-inch microfiber applicator that I typically use. So, just to change things up slightly, we'll use the foam applicator. Every honey wax gets one of these free, so if you order a honey wax you get a free pad. Just a couple of times round. It's a hard wax, but it's really nice to apply, really easy to apply. Lots and lots of beeswax in this, so you can imagine the shine is absolutely incredible. So you just apply it in straight lines. The main reason that I don't tend to reach for foam applicators so much is because I find it's really easy to over apply the wax. So just now you've got about half the pad, which is probably a bit too much for this area, has wax and the other half doesn't. Now until you spread the wax over the paint, just in straight lines, up and down, north, south, east, west, just always keep the straight lines. And as you're doing this, you can then start to use the whole pad. And what that does is it negates, or it navigates round the over application problem that you can have with sealants, waxes, last step products. So all you're doing is you're thinning out the application, because you really want this layer of wax to be as thin as possible, while still obviously protecting the paint. And the reason being, it'll be easier to remove and you're not wasting any product, and it'll cure faster as well. It will typically cure in a more uniform manner, that you don't get the peaks and troughs, so you don't get an area that's got too much wax then too little. So this spreads the wax, it's nice and easy. You can also use dual action or handheld orbitable machines as well to apply your wax. It's a really nice way to do it. You get a nice even coating of wax over the paint. The nice thing about this wax, because it is a high wax content, so there's lots and lots of wax in honey, is it cures quite quickly. So you'll tend to find that when we're applying this, it's slightly different to your normal swipe test, simply because beeswax, it acts slightly different to Carnauba. It's not so much of a clean, especially when you've got a high beeswax, it's not so much of a clean swipe as it would be because of the wax content. When you put your finger on there to do the swipe, it will slightly melt that layer that's there, so you won't get as clean a swipe. However, I would still leave this wax for about 20 minutes before removing it. That'll give you a nice application. Then what you want to do, because it's a high wax content, is you want to, or you're able to rather, apply another layer of wax a couple hours later. You can, best method is if you can wait about 12 to 24 hours, give or take. But if, like me, you've got really busy weekends, you're busy throughout the week, it doesn't really matter so much. All it means is you might not get that full 100% layer. It might be something like 70, 75%, which I'm fine with. I know that I've at least got some kind of second layer on there. Second layer, what it brings to the table is more gloss, more uniform distribution of wax. So I can see already there's an area here that doesn't have as much wax as the top area, and it's just because as I'm applying the wax, you'll pick up a wee bit more in some areas, and other areas it will lay down more wax. So just making that decision. I would always go for at least 2 layers. If you've got the time, if it's a special event like Father's Day where you've kind of got the day off, go for 3 or 4. I mean, it's a wax like this, because it's such a high content wax and it's so easy to use, you'll really start to see differences at the second and the third layer. The first layer is just a kind of tidbit to let you see what you can achieve. Now what I'm going to do here is I'll use the Olympian cloth, so it's more plush on one side, less on the other. I feel a bit like a matador there. And all you're going to do is take, for me I like to cut through the wax with the thinner layer first, just personal preference. Right guys, so we'll just start to remove this wax now. We've given it the time that it needs. All we're going to do is break through that first layer, really easy. And just again, because it's beeswax, it's slightly different. Obviously beeswax is known for its quote-unquote polishing attributes, so things like it really gives an extremely high gloss finish. You can't really replicate this look with any other wax. There are so many waxes to choose from obviously, but beeswax really stands out. It's so nice to use. One of the things that I really like about it, and it's a strange word to use, but it's a wax that really grips in, and I like that for the paint simply because I know it's really adhering to this paint. It's hydrophobic as well. It's got brilliant hydrophobic qualities. One of the misleading pieces of information about beeswax is it's not a durable wax. Now, I would tend to disagree with that. I find that it is a very durable wax. You just need to know how to make the blend. Obviously with Michelin King we have been making waxes for close to, personally, before I started the company, probably close to 2 decades now. So it's a long time. With beeswax, it's a wax that takes time when you're making the blend. It's not a fast, high production, high volume type of wax, just because there's quite a lot involved. However, the results really speak for themselves. This wax, if you team it with something like Titan, you will without a doubt have one of the glossiest cars, probably, you know, whatever state, country that you live in, just simply because this wax is so unique. Teaming it up with Titan, which is a high gloss sealant that we offer, you really can't get any better. So let's get a closer look at just the sheer gloss that this offers. So we'll turn the camera around, pan over the paintwork, and we'll have a quick discussion about the real high gloss that this offers. Now, as I suspect, so hopefully as you can see, this quick demo of how to use Honey version 2, it's a phenomenal wax. The gloss levels, I mean, just look in the camera here, the gloss levels that you're seeing going down the bonnet here, it's completely transformed the look of this paint. This paint is now alive, it's popping, it's got phenomenal gloss, and also the other thing is we know it's well protected, and the hydrophobic properties, which we're just about to look at, will be absolutely incredible. We've got lovely beads. It will carry off the contaminants away from the paint, dry it away so that your paint will look cleaner for longer, glossier for longer, and it's easier to clean.